there. Mr. Dean here, and welcome to the next step in our exploration of human development. I just want to quickly go over what we've been looking at so far, and then we'll talk about what we're going to be doing in this step, okay? First of all, we talked initially about human development and how humans began as individuals struggling against the environment. And we looked at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that triangle that showed how humans progress step by step in terms of our needs. The first thing we need to take care of is our really basic fundamental survival needs like food and water and shelter. And then from there, we gradually progress into needs that are a little more complicated. But first, we got to get that first layer taken care of. So the first unit we looked at was humans at that first level, humans just trying to survive as individuals. And then we looked at how humans started working together, cooperating and building bigger and bigger and more complex groups. And as those groups got more complicated, we saw how rules needed to be developed. You had to figure out like, well, in these situations, is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do that? Because if you don't have those rules in a society, arguments and fights can start. So humans got together, they got together in groups together, then they had to figure out the rules of these groups. The next problem they had to come up with was the leadership. Who's in charge of these groups, okay? And so last time we looked at some of the systems that were looked at and in terms of leadership of these groups. Today we're going to start looking at a different stage and some of the problems that might happen. Even though humans had some good luck and developed some good systems that worked for a very long time, you think about ancient Egypt, ancient Mesopotamia, ancient China, for example, these societies were very successful and they succeeded for a long time. But every once in a while, one of these societies is going to run into some problems and they're not going to be able to solve them. And they're going to run into trouble. And in some cases, society is going to fall apart completely. Humans are going to go back down the hierarchy of needs, right back down to the bottom. It's almost like a video game where you lose this level and you have to go back to level one again. So in some societies, the failure is so profound and spectacular that humans are back to stage one, have to reorganize back into groups again, and then start again. And so we're going to look at a case study of a society that had to go through that, some of the things they learned, and then we're going to find out in a really weird way how sometimes societies, once they reorganize and become successful again, they can become a little too successful. And then what does that mean for a society when they're too successful? Anyways, take a look through this. What we're going to ask you to do is to read, to explore, and then show us what you know through some activities where you have to answer some questions and share some of your thoughts with us, okay? If you have any questions along the way, please do not hesitate to ask and seek clarification when you need it, all right? Take care.